In this video, you will learn about Trendle, which is a software for Amazon sellers. This software includes a lot of different features like Amazon PPC automation, inventory management, profit dashboard, even FBA reimbursements, and few other tools. I would encourage you to try their software. You will find the links below in the description as well as a coupon code. And what's nice about Trendle is that they have really low pricing, even FBA reimbursements have only 10% fee. So if you like what you see in this session, don't forget to click thumbs up button below this video. And now I would like to invite Tanguy, the founder, who will be presenting his software called Trendle. Hello Tanguy, it's nice to have you here. Could you please tell us more about Trendle? What is it and how does it help Amazon sellers?
Yeah, hi Augustus, thanks for having me on your Monday. So Trendle, the way to explain it better is where it comes from basically. So my business partner David and I, we've basically been selling on Amazon for 10 years or over 10 years now. And as our business grew from the initial investment of $300, that was our first order we did, that was $300. We grew that into a multiple seven-figure business and selling in all the Amazon marketplaces around the world. And we basically needed a tool to help us, function, make our business work more efficiently and help us grow, basically. And this is where Trendle kind of comes from. And the problems we look at solving for our Amazon sellers are the same problems we've seen ourselves and that we see in our community of sellers that use our application. And it's things like, how much money am I making, or am I just making money for Amazon? Which products are working well, which ones not so well. And there's a whole load of questions around PPC. Am I making money or losing money on PPC? How can I scale up my PPC effectively and profitably? How do I manage it on a daily basis? Then other questions like, does Amazon owe me money, for example, for loss or damaged inventory if I'm doing FBA? Do I have new reviews? So you can see lots of questions we were asking ourselves as sellers, and we built a solution in Trendle, which allows us to find the answers to these daily questions as quickly as possible, so we can spend our time actioning what we need to do rather than trying figuring out what's going on. And that's really what Trendle is all about.
All right. And your software has been in the market for a few years. What Amazon sellers are you targeting with it?
So generally it's open to all types of Amazon sellers, just not vendors. I'm saying sellers specifically. Vendors we will integrate later, hopefully this year in 2021. But in terms of Amazon sellers, it works for every single Amazon seller as long as you've got a Seller Central account. Okay, so but naturally we're a little bit more geared towards FBA sellers and private label. That's a little bit more the direction we go into. But generally it works for international sellers. If you sell one product in one country, or if you sell thousands of products in all the marketplaces, it will work for you. So it's really, it really works for everyone.
And very important for international viewers, what marketplaces do you cover?
All the marketplaces that Amazon makes available. So obviously in terms of what's your sales data, that's about 15 markets. So all the North America marketplaces, European ones, including the new ones like Poland, Sweden, and the Netherlands. And also what Amazon considers Europe, which is also Egypt, UAE, and Turkey, etc. And then the Far East, so Australia, Japan, and Singapore. In terms of the advertising, Amazon supports nearly all of these marketplaces, but not all of them yet. So all the ones that Amazon do support, we also support, basically.
All right, so we're ready to jump to your screen and see how Trendle works.
What I like to do in the demo now for all of you is I'm just going to spend maybe 10 minutes doing a fly through of some of the features that we have. I won't go into detail into all of them because obviously way too many and we could be here for way too long. So I'll give you a fly through some of these, why it's important to know what's going on in your Amazon business, why these features are helpful for you. And then obviously you can come onto the website, read more about it, have a look at our tutorial videos. You can book a demo then with me or someone from my team to take you through more detail on what's going on. We can show you on the demo account, we can show you with your own data, it's up to you. And these kind of things, okay? And then what I like to do afterwards, maybe spend 10, 15 minutes specifically on our advertising, on our PPC solutions, because this is where we get most questions, or where people seem to find most challenges. And this is where obviously I'd like to show you some of the solutions we have in place to help you as an Amazon seller in doing your PPC. So if I just jump straight into the application here on your dashboard, you'll see a few metrics and more widgets coming up soon to help you very quickly see what's going on. There's a little handy to-do list where you can write what the things you want to be doing this week. For example, you can write that in, so it's quite helpful. You can see how much money Amazon owes you if you're doing FBA, so FBA reimbursements for loss and damage inventory. So it gives you a bit of an overview on all these numbers. Now, in terms of features we have, as you can see, we've got a long list, as I mentioned a couple of times now. So reverse ASIN, for those of you who know what that is, it will basically be, you give us the ASINs of your competitors and we'll tell you what keywords they're ranking on organically and which ones on PPC. That's also really, really insightful because you can then know what are the top keywords you should put in your listing and in your PPC campaigns in order to perform in your niche without spending hours and hours doing market research, keyword research, or guessing keywords. Here in just a few minutes, you'll know instantly what are the top 20, 30 keywords you focus on, and then what are the 1,000, 2,000 long-tail keywords that could be potentially driving you some traffic and some sales. We've got a keyword ranking feature. I'll just jump very quickly into here. Keyword ranking is really, really, really helpful, and I'm going to show you an example to understand where your product is ranking organically for specific keywords. So here, what I recommend you to do is to put maybe 1, 2, 3, or 5 of the top keywords for your product. These are the keywords where you want to be number 1 or on page 1 at the very least for that product. Okay. So here, for example, I've taken generic garlic press, which is kind of used quite widely as an example. And for example, if you're selling this product, you want to know where am I ranking for the word garlic press, or maybe for hand pressed garlic or stainless steel garlic press. And that's really, really important because it allows you to understand, am I ranking really well, which means I should therefore expect a good amount of organic traffic and sales, or am I ranking really low, maybe on page 2, 3, or 4, which therefore would explain why my sales are low. And when that happens, you can then say, okay, let me boost my organic ranking by doing PPC advertising and therefore boosting my ranking. Okay, Amazon will push you up if you show them that you are relevant in a keyword and you convert. Okay, so this is why this is a very important metric and very important tool to have, is to figure out where am I ranking and therefore how does that explain the sales I'm having or sales I'm not having. You can do that also, by the way, with competitors to understand how your relationship, how you're positioning yourself versus competitors on a daily basis. FBA reimbursements. This is something which is really important if you're doing FBA. If you know aware of this, you potentially owed a lot of money from Amazon. This is all about Amazon handling your goods. Now, when you do FBA, you effectively sign a contract with Amazon, which says that if they damage or lose your products, or if there's anything which goes wrong, it will be their responsibility and they should compensate you for that. And most of the time, Amazon will compensate you for that, but sometimes they won't, either not the right amount or not at all. So what we do here is we're able to track all your movements of your inventory, of your sales, etc. And then we'll be able to report to you, okay, this is how much you are estimated to be owed. And if you opt in, our team will go into Seller Central and do all the legwork for you. They'll go and contact the marvelous seller support until your money is refunded to you. Okay, so this is obviously a very important feature. Lots of sellers are owed quite a lot of money from this. The bigger you are, the more money you're likely to be owed as well.
Tanguy, and I see that now the screen is displaying British pounds. Is it possible to change to other currencies?
Yeah, exactly. Good question, August. You can, of course, change the currency. We're a very international company, so you can change the currency. Just go into the settings here. I'm going to change that now. Let's head to US dollars. So you can change the display currency in the preferred currency in the application, and also for the billing. So if you want to be billed in US dollars or in euros or in pounds, you can also do that. So you can get billed in your local currency. Go back here, for example, you see this is now displayed in US dollars. So that will be how you can change your currency.
Yeah, that's good.
Cool. So let me go on to the next features very quickly. So seller feedback, product reviews kind of belong together. Very kind of self-explanatory. Get alerts on when you have new seller feedback and when you have new product reviews. We track all of your products with no limits. So it doesn't matter if you've got 10 products or 10,000 products. We'll track all of those. You can add recipients, so yourself or people in your team to be alerted daily. They can receive a daily digest of new reviews and new feedbacks you received, so you can take action on those. And you'd have to proactively go and check each Seller Central store or each of your products to see what the customer is saying about you. So obviously a huge time saver. We have automatic emails. I won't go into too much detail on here, but I think it's quite familiar to lots of people. You can create a post-purchase follow-up email. And what I would say here before you do this, obviously really be aware of the Amazon terms of service on this. You can still send automatic emails to customers, but be very, very specific on how you use it and make sure you check the Amazon terms of service. But you can here customize any number of campaigns you want. You can say when it should be sent. You can say for which products you want this campaign to go out for. Should it be for new customers, repeat customers, or all your customers? Should it be for FBA orders or FBA orders, etc. You can personalize it with tags. So for example, put a product name or a link to the Amazon page for the customer, etc. So these are all really helpful things that you can do. You can also add attachments. So if you have a guide on how to use your product or care of your product, you can also put that in there. So a lot of what you would expect from, let's say, an Amazon-orientated CRM tool. Again, just to be very, very clear, please review always the Amazon terms of service on this, because Amazon are getting very strict on what you can and cannot do with automatic emails. Advertising, I'll go into that in a second at the end. There's a lot in there. I'll just jump to product cost. Now, under product cost, this is a very, very useful tool because it allows you to understand how profitable you should be, and this is going to be linked to the advertising. Let me just show you. If I just reduce the view a little bit, it becomes a bit easy to see. Here you've got all of your products across all of your countries. You can see the selling price of your product. You can enter the VAT. So if you're in Europe specifically and you're collecting VAT on your sales in the UK and France and Germany, obviously that's a big cost factor, okay, on your sale price. So make sure that's entered into here. You can say what your fulfillment type is for the product and what your unit costs are. So how much it costs you to purchase, ship, import your products all the way to the Amazon fulfillment centers. And that will effectively derive what is your estimated profits. Okay, we will automatically calculate the Amazon estimated fees, and therefore you get your estimated profit. So in this example here, profit margin is going to be 41%. Now, where this becomes really, really powerful is we link this to the automation, which I'll show you in a minute. And we basically, a lot of people say, what should be my target ACoS? Well, your target ACoS depends on what your margin is and what your goal is, right? So let's say your PPC strategy is just to boost your organic ranking, which what we recommend people usually to do is to use PPC to boost your organic rank, kind of back to what I was saying earlier on keyword ranking. So you more or less want to break even on your PPC. If you break even on your PPC, that's great, that's good. And then you can make your profit and your money from the organic sales. So here, for example, profit target margin set to 0 means you want to break even on PPC. So your target ACoS is equal to your profit margin. Okay, so 41%, 41%. Now you can edit this number and say, and I want to retain maybe 10% margin. Okay, so you can just change that to 10%, and then that will recalculate the target ACoS to 31. Or you can say, I want to be really aggressive, and there's a bit of a delay here, but if you want to be really aggressive and say, no, actually, I'm launching a new product, I really want to rank really quickly #1, I'm happy to make a loss on my PPC, to be very, very aggressive. Maybe I'm happy to make 25% loss on my sales. So I'm going to put minus 25%. So that means that the target ACoS is going to be increased to 66%. Okay. Now, why this is really interesting is if you've got lots of products, you're not always going to know what is my target ACoS for each of my products. And also, two things happen on a regular basis. One, you change your price, therefore that impacts your margin. Two, Amazon changes their fees about twice a month in different markets. Twice a year, sorry. So if you've got lots of products, it means you constantly have to recheck, oh, what's my new target ACoS now? Are these things changing? It's just way too much to go on. So this will very simply save you all that time and hassle and calculate that for you and keep that updated. And then this is then linked to your PPC automation, which I'll show you later. So as your target ACoS changes for whatever reason, maybe you change your selling price, Amazon changes fees, or you change your strategy into how aggressive you want to be, this target ACoS value is linked to the automation, and the automation will adjust your bidding strategies according to this target ACoS. It's a very, very, very powerful tool, and that will save you a lot of time and really make sure you are hitting your profitability targets. Talk about profitability. We have a whole section here on profitability. I won't go into it now because I'll be there for too long. But it will show you in profitability how profitable you are on a country level, okay, across all of your marketplaces, across your entire Amazon business. And then per marketplace, you'll see your revenue, how that's split between PPC and organic sales, your cost, how that's split between maybe tax, Amazon fees, cost of goods, all that kind of stuff. And then on the product side, you can also see for each SKU that breakdown. And very importantly, we'll also show you your conversion rate for each of your products. So how many people are looking at your products, how many sessions you're having, and how people are purchasing. So what's your conversion rate? Conversion rate is probably one of the most important metrics on Amazon, because the higher your conversion rate, the higher Amazon will rank you, because Amazon wants to make money and wants to have happy customers. So people who buy and buy quickly makes Amazon very happy. So conversion rate is something you should really have a strong eye on for your products. Inventory, I just want to show you one thing on the inventory age that we have, because something that is very useful for FBA sellers, especially as you grow bigger and you have a lot of inventory in multiple marketplaces. Here we'll show you how old your inventory is. And specifically down here, I want to show you a little graph which visualizes how old your inventory is getting in different markets. So for example, here in Canada, it seems that this account has one SKU, which has 22 units here, you can see, which are over a year old. Okay, so this is non-moving stock, incurring long-term storage fees, and it's just not selling. Okay, and it's worth, if it were to sell, it's worth 351 Canadian dollars if it was to be sold in one go. So you can decide what you want to do, probably liquidate that stock, record it, whatever it might be. And you can see there's different classifications of age ranges. So what you want to do is make sure everything is as green and blue as possible. And if it's not green and blue, you want to look into that. You want to figure out why here, for example, I have 1,692 units, which are between 6 to 9 months old. What is going on here? How can I increase my sell-through rate? This is becoming a problem. It's tied up inventory, startups investment I've put in. What is happening here? Okay. So this is a very, very powerful tool to very, very quickly see, do I have a problem in my inventory? Are there things that are going under the radar that I'm not noticing? And this works for all the marketplaces. And if you're doing pan-EU FBA, it works for your pan-EU FBA stock as well, which is obviously really, really powerful, because in Seller Central, it can be difficult to keep track of what is country-specific stock, for example, small and light program, if you're doing that, versus what is Europe-wide pan-EU program stock. Okay, so this will help you track both of these. I wanted to show you guys that. We also have a forecast section. I won't go into that, but basically that helps you understand how much you should reorder and by when, based on your sales velocity. Obviously, very powerful tool to make sure you don't stock out. So we look after, make sure your stock doesn't get too old, but also make sure you still have stock in your inventory. So this is, again, going back to what I was saying initially, these are all the kind of questions we were asking ourselves. How much inventory do I have? What is not selling? How much do I need to reorder and by when? These are all questions we used to spend a long time trying to figure out. And now through Trendle, we don't really need to even think about it. Within a few seconds or minute or two, we've got all the answers we need, and we can move on and proceed with the orders, proceed with the liquidations, instead of spending 2 or 3 hours figuring out what's going on in the first place. So huge, huge time saver for us and for our community. Split testing, very briefly, that is really for advanced sellers. This one, so Augustus, you asked me to start. Who is this for, Trendle? Split testing is for advanced sellers. The reason this is for advanced sellers is you need to have a high-performing listing that has a good traction, a good amount of volume, people looking at the page, people buying your product. Because what you want to test here is, if I change my price, or if I change my main image or my title, how does that impact my conversion rate? Okay, back to that very important metric. So if I change image A versus image B, which one statistically over a period of time will provide the best value for my business? Okay, and this only works if you have a good volume of data, a good volume of people looking at your product. If you just launched a new product, you've got 10, 20 people looking at it a day, you will not have enough data to be sure if this element you're changing is actually the one impacting your performance. So I'm not going to dive into the advertising section, and I'll show you 2 or 3 things here in the advertising. PPC is the #1 thing people are always asking about. So the first thing we have is called ad performance, and this is kind of your reporting dashboard. And what you can see here is over the last 30 days, your performance across all of your campaigns in all the markets. So you can see here there's a mixture of Spain, Australia, etc. So everything is in one place. You don't need to switch around different Seller Central accounts like you have to do on Seller Central. You can see it all in one place. And you can obviously filter it. So if you want to filter specific countries, date ranges, etc., you can obviously do that. You can drill down to the performance. If I take this one in Spain, you can you can drill down and see what's happening at the ad group level, and then you can drill down and see what's happening at a targets level. So targets, that terminology means if it's keywords, okay, so you're targeting specific keywords like garlic press, example, garlic press, or stainless steel garlic press, these are keywords. Or targets could be product targeting. So if you're targeting specific ASINs, like your competitor ASINs to advertise on their listings, that's also a target. So that's what will appear here under the targeting page. And what's really helpful here is you can make changes directly within Trendle. So for example, here you can see, this one, for example, is at 3 clicks, not orders, not great. I probably want to put that as negative exact, right? So I'm going to go into here and I can put negative exact, okay? And that will change it on Amazon. Apologies for the little text error, we'll get that fixed. Or you may want to change the bid, for example. Okay, so one of the things you can do is you can just double click on the bid price, and that will enable you to change the bid directly. So for example, this one's at 0.40, maybe I want to increase the bid because I'm not getting enough impressions, enough clicks. It's a bit weird. I should be getting some more clicks for that, some more traffic. So I will increase the bid to try and see if I'm going to generate some more traffic, some clicks, and hopefully some sales, right? And all of that you can do within Trendle very, very quickly. Type in the new bid, press enter, and off it goes to Amazon. Okay, so this is a good little way of managing kind of manually your campaigns and manually doing some changes. Obviously, what's much more effective is to automate all of that. So if I go over to our PPC automation, there are 2 elements that I want to show you here on PPC automation. And the first one is what we'll call creating your own rules to manage your campaigns. And the second one is going to be an automated way to launch new campaigns, which are fully automated and have fully automated keyword research as well. Okay, so here's how the automation works in Trendle. So what you will do is you'll create what's called a rule group. Okay, and you would say, I want to create rules that will apply to these campaigns. Okay, so for example, I'm going to do here a Demo Monday one special for Augustus. And I'm going to apply it to, let's say, a campaign in the US. I'm going to use my demo, let's call it, and I'm going to use the auto campaign as an example. And I want the rules to apply to all the ad groups in that campaign. So I've now created the rule group. Within that rule group, I will now create some rules. So let me just go and find that. So here I can create some rules. So for example, this is an automatic campaign. So it will depend on obviously what campaign you're creating. But if this is an automatic campaign, I could say, okay, well, what I want to do is if I get a search term, which is a keyword, okay, keyword is a search term. So as automatic campaigns, you're not bidding on keyword level, and you can only act on the search term level. And that search term, you'll have 2 things, either a keyword or an ASIN. So let's say if I've got keyword, which appears in my search term report, I can say, for example, okay, if it's had, so if the orders, let's say, are greater than 1 after 1 day, so basically every day, check has been on order, I can say I want to move this to another ad group. Okay, so basically it means I'm going to automatically take this search term, this keyword, and I'm going to move it to another campaign. So I'm going to select US, and I'm going to select whatever the campaign is going to be. So let's say it's this one, and then I'm going to say I will move it to this ad group, and I'll put it as an exact, right? And I'll use the ad group default bid. So you can see you can very quickly create a very simple rule, but hugely time-saving rule, which says that search term is relevant and it's a keyword. So I'm going to move it to this manual campaign I already have created to ultimately do this keyword harvesting into the manual campaign. And you could do, so you can create the rule, you can save that rule there, and then you can create a very similar rule for, let's say, ASIN as a search term. So anytime you will see an ASIN in a search term report with the automated campaign that has an order, you'll probably want to move it to a product targeting ad group in a manual campaign in order to manage the bid on that ASIN, and you can do it here automatically. Other rules you can implement, also put things as negative. So you can say, if I've had 10 clicks after, if I've had 0 orders after 10 clicks, then you want to make it negative. Obviously 10 clicks depends on your conversion rates, how often you should expect to get a sale after how many clicks. So if you've got 10% conversion rate, then you want a sale every 10 clicks. So hence the example, but if you've got conversion rate of 50%, then every 2 clicks should give you a sale. So you can create a rule which really fits to your product and fits to the campaign. And you can create any number of rules for any number of campaigns. And as you can see, it will save you a lot of time in the daily management of your campaigns, because you will no longer have to go through the search term report, make the change automatically, or have some search terms or keywords or ASINs go underneath the radar, bleeding your budget, costing you lots of money, and you're not realizing that it is. You can obviously create rules around ACOS. So just to show you an example, keywords, I might say, if my ACOS, and here I'm going to use target ACOS, for example, but back to the product cost I was talking earlier. So this is going to look at the target ACOS. I'm going to say if it's greater than my target ACOS, let's say maybe after 5 clicks, or you can say every day, you will auto adjust the bid. Okay, so what basically this does is it will look every 5 clicks, or you can say every day. Let's just say every day. So every day, I want you to check all the keywords in that campaign. And if it's above, if the actual ACOS is above my target ACOS, then I want you to auto adjust the bid. And what this is going to do is we've got algorithms in the background that will see the historic performance of your campaign of that keyword and other keywords, and understand based on your margin, what should be then the adjusted bid that we should be. So it's not going to go up and down very, very wildly, which could happen, for example, if there's an event happening like a Black Friday or Prime Day, which could lead to suddenly lots more traffic on the Amazon site, which throws usually the bids and the conversions and the sales in all sorts of directions. Or maybe a Sunday night compared to a Monday morning has a different also performance in terms of sales. So instead of reacting very wildly on a daily basis, we use an average and a weighted average performance over a period of time to understand how to slowly reduce the bid to find the right equilibrium and the performance. And again, this is going to save you a lot of time. It's going to save you a lot of money. It's going to make sure you can hit your profitability targets. And it's very quick to create and set up these rules. So within just a few minutes, you can create all the rules you need for a campaign. And what's really, really powerful with this is not only is it extremely customizable, there are way, way more options you can do. And I won't go into the details now. But you can, if you have existing campaigns, it's really important to keep those existing campaigns running, because historic data on PPC campaigns is very valuable. And Amazon uses it a lot to improve your placement position, to improve the traffic they send to your listing. So if you have an existing campaign that you want to automate, don't just scrap it and start a new campaign because the tool you're wanting to use only offers that solution. Here you can really say, I've got an existing campaign I want to keep, I want to automate it. And here you can create those rules, no matter what the setup is that you have. So let me just show you, for example, some example rules we have on our website to kind of help you know which rules to put in place. And just to show you guys, you're probably quite familiar with some of these different PPC approaches. Usually most people do what's called this type 4 here for us, where you have an automatic campaign doing the keyword harvesting, and then you have a manual campaign, okay, in which you're going to manage the bid. So you can have a broad phrase and exact ad group and a product targeting ad group. And then you've got the harvesting campaign, moving the keywords and moving the ASINs. That's kind of the classic setup that people have. Obviously on the way back here, what I'm not showing is the negatives, right? So something is pushed here as positive, it's put also as negative, okay? But for the sake of simplicity, we're just showing the positive movements. But you can here very quickly in Trendle create those rules to apply to the campaign to say, like I just showed you in the automatic campaign, if I've had an order on a search term, a keyword, then move it to these ad groups and then make it negative in the automatic campaign. Do that, it takes you 1 minute to create the rule and it will run forever every single day. And down here we have lower down different explanations about how you should best set up the rules. So do I use 8 clicks, 3 clicks, 10 clicks as a threshold? How do I know this? How do I calculate this? But also specific screenshots of how the rules should look like for it to work. Okay, so whether you're just implementing rules for a standalone automatic campaign, or whether you're doing the type 4, a little bit more complex, more complete of a harvesting automatic campaign with manual campaigns, we'll show you here screenshots of exactly how to do the rules. So you can just copy and paste that into Trendle. And once you've understood a little bit how it works, you can then go much more quickly and set that up for your other campaigns. A little hack to save you time. You can simply clone rules or clone groups. So once you've created, let's say, a rule group for one automatic campaign for one product, you can just clone it and then edit the rule group settings. So it makes you much quicker than, again, in creating the rules. So I'll stop here on the automation rules, because I think there's a lot going on in here, but it's really, really customizable, really, really powerful. And we do have a lot of support on the help pages. We also have the support on the chat if you have questions about how to start using this. And again, we can do a demo on your account to kind of help you get started on this. Now, for those of you who are looking at launching a new product, okay, you don't have advertising PPC campaigns on this yet, what we recommend you to do is to create what's called a TCS. So that's a Trendle comprehensive strategy. And let me just explain to you what that is. Now, I just showed you previously this type 4 campaign where you have the automatic campaign and the manual campaign. Now, we take this to the next level, right? We call this really comprehensive because we use 2 harvesting campaigns and 3 manual campaigns. Let me briefly tell you what that does. So basically, in the creation process of the TCS, you are going to provide, and I'll show you in a second, you're going to provide which product you want to advertise, and you're going to provide some competitor ASINs, which Trendle will then do reverse ASIN lookup on and return the top keywords for your competitors. And it will put these keywords directly in a manual campaign called SPM Keyword Performance. It stands for Sponsored Product Manual and Keyword Performance Campaign. And it'll put into the exact performance. These will be the top 20, 30 keywords that your competitors are using. We'll put them directly in here. Now, this is really, really huge, because usually if you're just using the automatic campaign to harvest keywords and move those into a manual campaign, you're going to be wasting 2 to 3 to 4 weeks of time and budget discovering the right keywords and the right ASINs. Here, we're giving to you straight from the launch of the campaign. So you're saving already a lot of time and a lot of money in giving money to Amazon to discover things which you should already know. Those same keywords are put as negative across all the other campaigns, so you don't need to rediscover them again and spend money on that. We then have the 2 harvesting campaigns here, an automatic one, which will do the normal thing, which is challenging Amazon to find new ASINs and new keywords to target. Anything which is discovered is then moved to the exact from auto ad group here. On the SPM harvesting, we're manually looking at more keywords and more search terms and more ASINs, sorry. And that will be looking at putting keywords as broadened phrase and then moving those long tail keywords, related keywords back into the manual campaigns. We also have a product targeting campaign where we really look at targeting specifically the ASINs and managing the ASINs, so you can really make sure that budget is specific. And the reason we split it out is you want your budgets and your strategies to be a little bit different between keyword targeting, which you would get in the keyword performance, and the ASIN targeting you can add in the product targeting campaigns. So this allows you to have different budgets, different rules, different metrics to manage those. And finally, we have a manual keyword protection. And this manual keyword protection is just about moving the keywords from the keyword performance, which are good keywords, relevant to generate sales, but not high volume, okay? Because what you want to do here is all about isolating and keeping the best keywords together into this exact performance and in this keyword performance campaign to make sure you maximize your budget on these ones. These are the ones, usually it's very, very, very few keywords. For some of our users, it's just 2 or 3 keywords, okay? For others, maybe 10, 20, 30 keywords maximum. And these are the ones you really want to hammer the budget. You really want to be really on top of. These are the ones that you want to make sure never run out of budget. You're continuously generating sales on those. Conversion rate is good. They're very competitive, but you have to be on top of these ones. Everything else is relevant, but does not generate the same volume, and therefore is what we call a keyword protection. So it's all about the 80-20 rule, okay? 20% of your keywords are going to generate 80% of your sales. And this is what we're trying to do here. We're going to isolate in the keyword performance campaign those 20% of those keywords that generate the 80% of your sales, and everything else, so the other 20% of your sales coming from the other 80% of keywords, is going to end up in this keyword protection, okay? And this is really what we want to try and drive. So I'm going to show you now how this works in Trendle, how you can set up and launch this in just 3 steps. So if you go into here, you create a new TCS, this will take you to the first step, which is select your country. So I'm going to select, let's say, the USA. Going to select a product. I'm going to select our test product. And here you can see it comes over the product cost. So I've previously entered it into the product cost section. Now, product cost is one of the very key metrics because it allows us to understand what is your margin. Again, what is your target ACOS you should be aiming for. Then you provide a short name. The short name is to be used in the naming convention of your campaigns, your portfolio. So it's very easy later on for you to recognize to which product does each campaign refer to. So I'm going to call this, Augustus. So here in the second step, I provide keywords. So you can provide your own positive keywords. These could be from previous campaign, from your own research, or anything else. You don't have to enter anything if you've done anything. You can also enter negative keywords. If you know there's some keywords you definitely do not want to be bidding on, you can put those in already. The only thing that's required is to provide at least one reverse ASIN, so at least one competitor, or even your own ASIN if you want, for us to extract the top keywords. Okay, so here I'm just going to use an example of a random product. And then what you can do is also add any kind of positive ASINs for product targeting with negative ASINs. So specific competitors you may want to target or not target, you can also specify that in here if you want to. Now, if I go next, then you can see here it says reverse ASIN research in progress. So whilst you do the last step, which is all about the campaigns and the rules, in the background, Trendle is already fetching all the right keywords that are going to populate your campaigns. Now, what you can see here is what the settings are going to be like for your campaigns. First of all, we're going to create a portfolio, and the portfolio will be called Trendle Augustus. So Augustus being the short name you used. So you can easily identify that later in Trendle and in Seller Central. We show you the margin. So the margin for this product is 18%. Your target ACOS is equal to your target margin in this scenario. You can change here manually the ACOS if you want to have a different target ACOS for whatever reason. And then here, very importantly, is your conversion rate. So you need to have connected our Chrome extension in order for us to synchronize your Seller Central data with Trendle to have your conversion rate. If this is not in, you can just put it in. So for example, I know this product converts, let's say at 10%. Okay, so every 10 clicks is a sale. So I'm going to put 10% in here. This is the only required metric to make sure it's in here. And below here, you have your 5 campaigns I showed earlier. You have your manual keyword performance campaign, you have your protection campaign, etc. But I'll just show you here, this is the campaign name. So we have a naming convention, which is always the same. It's easy to read, easy to understand. Okay, it's an SPM, it's a manual campaign in the US. It's called Augustus. It's for keywords, and it's my performance campaign. So it's very quick to understand how it works. You can open it up to see what the rules are going to be. And you can edit a lot of this. You can edit the default bid, and the default bid is calculated based on your margin and your conversion rate. Okay, and it's going to say, okay, 62 cents is the default bid, which means you can afford 10 clicks at that rate and still break even. Okay, so this is how very simply calculated. And below here, you can see all the different rules. Now, I really recommend you read our help pages the first time you do a TCS, just to really understand why we're doing the rules for each of the out groups, what they're doing, how they're calculated. Now, you need to do this once just to understand it, because if you want to then edit the rules a little bit to your own specific needs or to your own strategy, this is really important. You can also just launch it like this, okay? But it's very difficult from our perspective to provide a one-size-fits-all solution. Okay, every seller is different, your strategies are different, your niche is different, the market is different. So always need to understand at least a little bit about your PPC. I understand that PPC for some people is a really big black box, it's very confusing. But here we've really condensed it down to the simplest things possible. And there's only 2-3 things that you need to understand. And I keep on mentioning is, what is your margin and what is your conversion rate? And if you understand these 2 metrics, you can very, very easily understand what it is you need to adjust in the rules and how to adjust it. And it's all explained here, again, on the help pages. Okay, but here you can go through it and edit any of the rules. You can even see why we're doing the ad group, what the ad group objective is, why we have it in place, etc., etc. So you understand a little bit more about what's going on. Then once you're ready, you can just click launch. And what's happening now is Trendle is starting to create the campaigns in Seller Central, the ad groups, is putting the keywords in there, and it's going to create the rules also in Trendle. So it's fully already automated, it's launched, and then from today onwards, within a few minutes, as soon as Amazon has digested the information, it will start advertising your products. So that's how easy it can be to launch really, really what I call comprehensive PPC campaigns, fully automated, saves you tons and tons of time in the keyword research. It saves you all the time in the daily management of bid management, of putting things as negative, of moving things around, of understanding what structure you should have in your campaigns. All of this is answered and solved in this. The only thing you have to do, and again, we have on the help pages, every 1 or 2 weeks, do a little bit of maintenance just to check if you need to adjust some of the rules a little bit. For example, is the conversion rate a little bit different than expected? And do you want to adjust some of the metrics a little bit? These are just some of the things that you will do. And that's, no more than an hour every couple of weeks compared to, I think what for most people is most of your day on PPC if you're not using an automation tool. So I've spoken a lot. I've given you guys a lot and lots of information. Hopefully you've stuck with it a little bit. Hopefully you've understood it. I'm really, really excited to show you guys this. I really hope you like it. If you want, again, any help, you can come to us in the chat. I'm really happy to have a demo with you guys, or someone from my team can have a demo with you to show you the tool and to explain to you a little bit more how it works, any of the features in the software. I think at this stage, Augustus, I'll hand back over to you. Maybe you've got some questions or anything else you'd like to ask me.
I would like to know what is the pricing. I remember that from the past videos that your tool has very fair pricing.
Yeah, fair pricing for us is really important. Again, back to our story, we used to be Amazon sellers. In fact, in a way, our community is Amazon sellers who help us build the software at the same time. So we are Amazon sellers in really our core. And we started with $300. Okay, that's all we had when we started. We did our first order. Okay, and when you've only got a $300 budget, you can't afford to spend another $300 on the software for a month. Okay, so if you're a brand new Amazon seller, okay, we've got a very special offer for you, which is $10 a month. Okay, and you get access to all the features. Okay, the only two limitations are one, the keyword ranking, that's limited to 200 keywords. You can buy packs to track more than 200 keywords, but usually that's plenty for most people. And the FBA reimbursement, which is a service, that is something you can opt into, and that's built on top. So we will charge a 10% commission on any amounts we successfully recover. So it's like a no-win, no fee perspective. But apart from that, everything else is included, all the features. So if you're new Amazon seller, that's $10 a month. If you are kind of a more established Amazon seller already, so you've got a business who's kind of running, it's kind of growing, there are two different price points which are calculated automatically by the application, and these depend on your PPC spend. So if 1 month you are below $2,500 in PPC spend, you're automatically on $50. If you're above, it's only $100. So this is really done to try and help people who are starting to sell to grow their business. We obviously, as a software provider, need to cover the slightly higher cost of bigger sellers, which is why there's slight differentiation. But as you can see, it's a very, very fair pricing. We're really in it because it's the fun of making it. It's what we really enjoy doing. And we're not in it to pay back investors or anything like that. So for us, it's really much about the passion.
Yeah, it's really low price for ads management for this kind of spend. Wow, really. All right, and can you reveal to us some future features you're planning to release? I know you already have so many features in your tool, but will you release something new?
The list is very long, Augustus. I think that's for many people. We've got a very long wish list. But again, it goes back to what we're here for. We want to answer the questions we ask ourselves as an Amazon seller community daily, right? And the many questions we still want to answer. But in a nutshell, we're going to focus a lot on PPC automation. There's still a whole load of things we can do on PPC automation. It's things like helping out with the placement performance, or also automating sponsored brands and sponsored display along with sponsored products. So all of these can flow together. There's a lot here on the PPC automation. Our second focus is going to be on profitability, where we really want to dig in more and more onto your profitability, help you understand trends and seasonality a lot more, help you understand much more your marketing spend. So it's not just looking at ACOS in terms of how much you're spending on PPC, so what your PPC revenue is and what PPC cost is, but what is what we call your blended ACOS. So what is your PPC spend as a relationship to your overall revenue? Okay, so you look at it more from a marketing budget perspective and a pure operational ACOS perspective. And very, very importantly, we're very excited to start already working on some B2B solutions. So as you know, on Amazon, you can sell to customers, B2C, or to businesses, B2B. And the B2B area is experiencing tremendous growth at the moment, especially through the recent year, 2 years. And there's a huge opportunity there for sellers to exploit the B2B channel, to be much more aggressive there. The basket values and conversion rates are completely different to B2C. And we really want to help the users of Trendle to exploit that, the opportunity to sell much more, to increase your revenue and increase critically your profitability. There's a lot of profit to be generated from B2B customers. And we're really excited to be releasing very soon some features there to help our sellers, our users, explore that possibility.
All right, and final question: do you have any offer for Orange Klik viewers?
Yeah, so Augustus, I'm a big fan of yours. We did the first Demo Monday 4 years ago when we first launched, and you as well in a way. So here we go. I'm offering 75% off for 3 months on the application. So I use the code Orange Klik, which I think will be shared somewhere below the video probably, and put that in once you've created your free trial. So we've got a 14-day free trial. With the Orange Klik, you'll get 75% off the first 3 months. So any of the plans I showed you earlier, that'll be 75% off.
Wow, it's a steal. I mean, if you are just starting, you have to pay $10 for your application. It's like almost for free.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, you are so confident. Thank you very much, Tanguy. And those who are watching, you will find the links below to Trendle if you want to try them. As Tanguy said, there is a 2 weeks trial as well, plus the offer. So thank you very much, Tanguy, and good luck in your business. Bye-bye.
Cheers, everyone. Bye-bye.
If you would like to try Trendle for your Amazon business, you will find the links below in the description. And don't forget that they offer a 2 weeks trial as well as a really generous coupon code of 70% off for the first 3 months. You'll find the coupon code as well in the description of this video. And now I would like to invite you to watch other very popular video on our channel where Chris Rawlings is explaining how you can craft your A+ content or EBC content for your Amazon listing to get more conversions.